Okay. Oh god, sorry. I'm actively in the process of eating my dinner because I got out of work late, like always. So, I apologize for any burpiness and such that I have. I just realized I haven't completed my requests in a while. I don't know if that's gonna do anything if I do, but 157. Okay, cool. I don't know what it is about the API, but with tits, which is what Alistair uses for his throwing stuff because he's a 2D VTuber. For some reason, when you complete the reward requests, it redoes them. And so, like, sometimes I'll fuck with him while he's streaming and I'll go and complete his reward request to absolutely spam it. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they're using, like, a faulty API call or something, but weird. Anyway, it's 999 time. So, if we remember, when we last left our heroes, we went through the number 1 door with Ace and Clover. Ace did something. I don't know what. I don't trust that motherfucker after he stabbed me in the back twice. And I got kind of faint, and he found out that I faked doing the pieces of paper so that I could go in the door I wanted to. And then we found the dead body in the captain's quarters, and then Clover was kind of smirky. And then something occurred to me, because we've been over this, right? So Clover obviously knows that Snake has a fake left arm. It's a prosthetic. In every path other than the one where I went through the door number 3. So this path is one in which I did not go through number 3. Clover is one of the people who finds Snake's body. So, or Snake, quote unquote's body. So she knows that Snake isn't dead. So she's acting quiet. And she gave like a little smile in the captain's quarters, and I'm wondering why that might be. I'm starting to think I thought Ace was going to take the axe and kill us. I'm wondering if she's going to take the axe, because Ace is the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals, and it seems like that's not necessarily common knowledge, but he at least tells Snake, or at least Snake knows and pretends that he told him. And Clover knows, assumedly, about Snake being in the previous Nonary game. It's not said when Snake lost his sight, just that it happened when he was a kid, quote unquote. And since he would have been 9 years old during the Nonary games, we'd have no idea if that would have made him. We have no idea if that happened before or after he lost his sight. But regardless, putting 2 and 2 together, Lotus knows that Cradle did it. Seven knows that Cradle did it. Hey, Gaiman. So I'm pretty sure, at least for the people who were involved with the previous Nonary game, it's somewhat common knowledge that Cradle did it. Fuck off. Oh, why are you growing up? I have my PC open. I don't know why it keeps resetting everyone below a certain threshold to back to 1. But I don't know. But yeah, so I think it's safe to assume, 1, that Clover probably knows that Ace is the CEO of Cradle's Pharmaceuticals, and that she probably is going to kill him. That being said, they stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backwards L.
All right, let's go.
Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightaway. He ran, and ran and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door.
That's the next door.
He made straight for
Wait,
it.
a piece of paper.
He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. Is this paper? I think it is. Fuck. Junpei scurried to a halt.
This is...
He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off of the floor.
Map of the ship's interior for ADEC.
Oh. Interesting.
What's wrong?
Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei.
I found a map for this floor.
He showed Ace what he snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was, and he nodded. With that, he began running again past Junpei.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I should keep this, though.
Fuck. Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace. But something stopped him.
Hey, where's Clover?
He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Damn it, what the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he stopped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob.
Clover!
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Junpei had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is... I wonder.
What the hell?
Come on, we gotta hurry.
With that, Clover ran straight past the somewhat confused Junpei. As she did, he caught a glimpse of her back.
Clover, what's that on your back?
Sticking up from her collar was something that looked like a big wooden stick.
A stick?
It's the axe.
Hey, Clover, what the hell's that thing on your back?
She didn't respond. Instead, she quickly turned the corner and disappeared.
Is she ignoring me? For crying out loud.
So what could she have taken? Other than the axe. Yeah, I don't know what's in her pockets, but for sure that stick is the axe. Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
Big stairs. Huh. So this is where it ends up. Just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His I see after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
Oh boy. Put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Not just Ace, Santa, June, 7, and Lotus as well.
Really?
Let's join them.
Fuck. Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
June's face was excited. She does not look excited, she looks upset. Something had happened, that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Okay.
Interesting. 7 turned and jogged off down the stairs. Isn't someone missing? No, we have 7. 7 people, that is. We've got, Ace, Santa, Clover, Junpei, June, 7, and Lotus. Yeah, we have 7 people. Because the 9th man is the first man that dies, and then Santa's dead. Allegedly.
Well, if that's the case...
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each one of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it. At least, not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was.
We've reached the end.
Could be door Q. He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
But something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could.
Yeah.
Junpei followed. They were quiet for a while until... They had just reached C deck when Clover spoke.
Hey, what about door 2?
Everyone else stopped. They all turned to look at Clover. 7 spoke.
What about door 2?
Door 2 is the only one we haven't gone through it, I mean.
Yes, that is true.
Are you guys okay with that? Not investigating it, I mean?
I think
So
it's fine.
what? We found door 9. We don't need any of the other doors.
What's the point? Huh?
What?
What's the point in going to door 9? We
Escaping?
can't all go through it, right?
Hmm.
Then we should do what we have to do before we go any further. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. The best way to finish it quickly is to do the border pieces first. You know?
I'm not quite sure where you're going with this.
Or what? You think all 7 of us should go to door 9? And then we argue over who stays behind and who gets to go? Do we really want to do that again? Who knows? If we check out door 2, maybe we'll find something.
Yeah, like your brother.
Maybe we can find a way to get all of us out.
Oh. Okay, so door 2 is the confinement rooms, outside the rooms, torture room. Yeah, door 2 would lead to the yellow sub. Not like literally it will bring you to the yellow sub, but door 2 is the yellow sub ending. I don't think we would end up going through it here. We might, but we only have 90 minutes left, so... Sorry, I've been tracking my calories and I'm trying to put in the calories of my meal, because trying to do better about tracking shit. Okay, I think that's everything that's on it. Okay, that's not a bad amount of calories for that meal. Sorry. Been trying to get into the habit of doing this more. Because kind of sick of being big and fat and ugly.
Huh. I don't know what might be in there. We may not find anything. But don't you think it'd be better to at least have a look? I mean, am I wrong? Does that sound wrong to you guys?
Yeah, you do have a point.
Why? The others nodded in
The
agreement.
last time I checked the clock, it was 4:30. It's not like we've got a lot of time, but if we're quick about it, we might have time to take a look.
You're right. Let's go take a look at door 2.
Oh wait, no. I'm not sure who's going through door 2. Alright, we'll find out. They were back in front of the elevator. Nearby was the large hospital room. So I'm wondering if she's going to try and separate us so that she can get either alone with Ace or mostly alone with Ace so she can kill him.
The
or what's
elevator
gonna
can
happen.
take us down to door 2.
Who shall go then?
Let's see.
Me. I'm going.
Okay, so she said she's going. So she might go with June and Ace. But if Junpei insists on going, then they can't.
Then June 7 and I need to go with her.
June 7 and I need to go with her. Four plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 equals 20. 2 plus 0 equals
Hey,
2.
why do you get to...
I don't mind. We'd only waste time arguing over it.
Jumpy, I'm okay too.
See?
Can we just go now?
Fine.
All right, let's get going.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Be careful.
They climbed into the elevator and Junpei listened to it creak and rattle its way down to the bottom deck. Only Junpei, Ace, and Lotus were left. Uh-oh. As the elevator rumbled out of sight, Ace spoke.
Lotus, would you be so kind as to go with me?
Go with you? Well, I didn't think people still talked that way outside of the 1950s.
This is another different drawing of Lotus. So if he goes, that would leave 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? If we left 7 behind, we could still go.
Well, I'm a mother. Would that be a problem for you?
That wasn't what I meant to... I was hoping you would come with me.
Seriously, though, I was kidding. So, where was it you wanted to take me?
There's something I wanted to show you.
Hey man, what the hell? I'm not important enough?
Well, it's not like that. Once I've shown Lotus, I'll show you.
Really?
Of course.
Ace's smile was friendly.
Fine. Do whatever you want.
Thanks, Junpei. Are you coming, Lotus?
Fine. Doesn't look like they're going to be back anytime soon. I might as well go and see whatever it is you think is so important.
Thank you.
So I wonder if this is how it went when he killed Lotus. Is he took her down there, killed her, and took her bracelet.
Well then, shall we go?
Ace turned and began to walk. Lotus followed. They disappeared into the hallway on the left. Time seemed to drag as Junpei waited for the others to return.
They're so slow. And what's keeping Ace and Lotus?
Suddenly the elevator opened. Oh no. A single person stood
Clover! I guess you're the first one back.
there. It was only Clover inside. He didn't see the rest. She looked at Junpei, then slowly, purposefully stepped out of the elevator. The door closed behind her.
Where's everybody else? What happened?
She didn't answer. Instead, her eyes swept the room and then settled on Junpei.
Where are Ace and Lotus?
Oh, Ace said he wanted to show Lotus something, so they went into that hallway.
Junpei explained what had happened.
Oh, then they went over there?
Her voice was small and timid.
Yeah, I think so.
He repeated his earlier question.
So where are June, Santa, and Seven? Why aren't they with you?
You really want to know?
There was something wrong with her smile.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Here, let me show you.
Clover pulled something out of her pocket and tossed it onto the floor at Junpei's feet.
Huh?
He looked down. On the floor in front of him were 3 metal rings.
Bracelets. Oh my god. Oh, holy shit.
Junpei collapsed.
No. No way. No way. This has got to be some kind of joke. This can't be real.
Junpei's body felt like rubber. His heart felt like a cold lump in his chest, and his hands shook uncontrollably. Sweat poured down his face. The 3 bracelets sat there on the floor before him. He could see the numbers on their faces.
3, 7,
And
6.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
But why?
Junpei's voice was flat and broken. Clover's response was cold.
Revenge for my brother. He was forced into door 3 and murdered.
But you know that it wasn't.
You need at least 3 people to open a door. Who were the 2 that opened that door with him? It could only have been Santa and Seven.
Or 9 and 1.
That's why I killed them.
2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3.
But why? Why did you kill June?
Because she tried to protect them. She was in my way. She had to die too.
No. No.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to wake himself from what had to be a dream.
No. No.
It couldn't be real, it just couldn't.
Hey, Junpei.
He felt Clover's hand on his shoulder. Her smile was wrong, horribly wrong. Her face looked like a mask made from stretched human skin. The smile that parted her lips did not extend to her eyes. They were dead and empty. The girl in front of him was no longer the Clover he had known. Perhaps she was not even human.
Let's go.
Her hand reached out toward him.
Let's get out of here. Let's leave this ship.
What the hell are you talking about? To open a numbered door,
Yes, I know. You need at least 3 people. But as long as we have this...
Once again, Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out. It was another bracelet. Junpei could see the number on the face. 0. 0.
The zero bracelet. You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, okay. I thought it was like something in both pockets. I thought she had like a bunch of stuff. That makes more sense.
This? This is... See? You get it now? If we have the zero bracelet, we can leave. You and I can open door 9 with just the 2 of us.
Well, technically not, but she doesn't know that the 0 bracelet is actually a 6. 4 plus 5 plus 0 equals 9.
See? So let's go. Come on. Hurry up.
She shoved out her hand again. Junpei looked up at Clover. She had the face of a demon. But there was something else. There was a holy light that surrounded her. She was both a fierce god and a benevolent goddess, filled with love.
Junpei.
Her voice was soft. Her eyes weren't empty anymore. They were deep. So deep, Junpei could feel himself falling into them. He felt dizzy. There was something oddly bewitching about her. His mind was beginning to crack and his heart began to melt.
Junpei.
The hand she was offering him, it looked so soft, so inviting.
Clover.
Junpei reached out with his own trembling hand and closed it over hers.
Yeah? Junpei writhed in agony. He shuddered and twitched, his body spasming as he went into shock. He screamed until his throat was torn and bloody, then screamed more. His cries echoed across the room. Eventually, his movements slowed, then faded. There was no more strength left in Junpei. He could feel his body begin to go numb. He no longer felt pain. He no longer felt anything. Whatever Junpei had been was gone. The last remnants of his mind began to fade. Even as his vision faded to nothingness, he saw Clover. Thanks, Junpei. I'm just gonna borrow this, okay?
Her smile was cold. What was left of Junpei's conscious mind drifted away. All that was left was a twisted, broken corpse. Bad end. Also, I've listened to this song like a shit ton on repeat. And this sounds like car horns. And then it almost sounds like a siren at some point. This part. And I don't know if that's supposed to be thematically relevant. But I'm really starting to think we're not on a ship. Alright, we got the axe end. Oh shit, we got a yellow key now. Which I'm assuming is probably has to do with the safe. Oh shit, we gotta start all the way from the beginning to do white keys? Actually, I guess we don't have to start from the beginning. Literally just second class cabins. That's a little loud. It's about as loud as me. Which I guess actually is not that loud at all, since I'm just fucking dead quiet. Okay. I guess we'll just... Oh, okay.
Hey, come on. It's not like that.
Junpei did his best to act as though he didn't care. His best wasn't very good.
I guess you haven't changed at all, Jumpy.
She giggled.
By the way, Jumpy.
Hmm?
How did you end up here?
What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I?
There was a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on D-Deck.
Damn straight.
But is that really the truth?
What?
Why would you ask that?
Jumpy, are you hiding something from me?
No, why would I?
Well, if you think about it, this is awfully suspicious. I mean, why would two childhood friends bump into each other in a place like this?
Hey, I could ask you the same thing.
It's fair. Okay, yeah, I have had this conversation before. So, yeah, this is not important. Okay. Well, we have the key now. Oh, actually, we have both of those keys, I guess. So, let's just go down to here.
You think we should go back?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Like the molecules were communicating with one another.
Ah, okay. So we needed to have the nitroglycerin talk, or the regular glycerin crystallizing talk first.
Transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Junpei looked up at Seven with half a smirk. Seven stared at him, dumbfounded.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Junpei told Seven the story he heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. One day, glycerin began to crystallize, and the story of ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. Ice 9. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed the scar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you? Know something about it?
I told you I think I do. Just hold on. It was...
Seven thought hard and mumbled to himself. After a few minutes, he gave up.
Damn it!
I think I was
Why'd you
supposed
have
to
to
say
ask me
Ice
some
9.
dumbass question. I totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry, man.
As Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez.
Seven looked at
Oh,
Junpei.
well. Look, if I remember anything, I'll let you know. All right? Right now, we need to get the hell out of this room, though. Okay?
With that, he turned and left. Junpei, his mind still occupied with the story Seven had told him, slowly followed. Okay, so...
You think we should go back?
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
Suddenly, Seven's eyes shot open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Alice.
Who's Alice?
Come on, the woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Oh, all ice. Oh, I don't have it because I didn't go through that door. But all ice, yeah.
Huh?
It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right?
That was one of them.
It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors.
Oh.
The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. Things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Oh, is it the sarcophagus?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight.
That is actually, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty skilled thing to do.
The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition.
Why does she look vaguely familiar?
They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. They say that the stink was horrible, but there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
the girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually, but weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month passed, and another. And it was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice, Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
Junpei gulped.
All right, tell me. What happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was... Lord Dashiell Gordain. You've heard that name before, right?
Gordain. Yeah, he's the guy who bought the Gigantic.
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship.
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
Although, it's not actually the gigantic. Once again, I believe it's the Olympic. Or was it the Britannic? No, the Britannic was the hospital ship. The Olympic became a transport ship.
What do you mean?
Gourdane bought Alice in 1912. 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic. But nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently, he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it.
The Forest of Knowledge. The library. There's a library on the bottom deck. And we get a key card for it in the laboratory escape. But I don't think it happens in I don't think you go through it in this path because you would have gone through Oh, do I not keep my other maps? That's interesting.
She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
Before Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey! What are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here!
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez!
Seven looked at Junpei.
So, anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
That cryptic remark, he turned and left the room.
Alice. Huh.
Junpei was left behind to ponder what he'd just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic. Even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9? No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
For anyone watching the VOD, I'm currently having a conversation with Veli in the chat, because I said, I swear to God, if Junpei is 0, I'm getting a tattoo. I said I'm permanently altering my body, and I'm not sure what I mean by that. We decided on getting a tattoo that says, like, Junpei does not equal 0. And so she was like, how scared are you about getting a new tattoo? I said, I'm feeling pretty confident. She said, confident about getting a new tattoo. I see. I said, getting a tramp stamp. Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. Okay. For the door.
Hey, hold on.
Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh?
Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, God damn it. Where the hell did she go?
It would be a pretty big twist. I don't know. I don't know if you're still muted, but it would be a big twist. I feel like there has been no foreshadowing for it. It would feel kind of cheap to me. TBH.
Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Oh, okay. So it's her thing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm gonna die. Junpei, what do you want to do? I'll give her the 4-leaf clover, because then she'll be, well... If we have to go down the same path, I'm gonna give her the... I'm gonna be nice to the kid, the quiet kid in the back of class, so that maybe she tells me not to go to school tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given
It's in
earlier.
my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
He reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second class room. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love.
So what I'm confused about is well, I can't go to the flowchart right now, but there's 2 endings left. But there's only one path, so I'm assuming the white one will bring us, well, no, I don't know. There's a gold one that I assume has to do with the bracelet, but the bracelet puzzle where you have to press like left, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, or something. I don't know.
If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
So I don't know if having that and do whichever the correct choices for all these white keys brings me to the true ending, or if there's more and that's just gonna bring me, I don't know.
Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
Clover stared at the 4-leaf clover in her hand. You could see tears start to form at the corners of her eyes.
Thank you.
Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with their baggy arms of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Dang, you made Clover cry. You beast. She deserves it for axe killing my wife and me. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
Still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
You made her choke, too. Listen. Moving on.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then. I mean, that you knew about the 4-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Damn, Junpei, that is kind of jerky of you to say. When she's just saying random shit. And we have no clue what it means.
Oh Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The 4-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment and then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Hope to die.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Of course you can.
Yeah, totally. I'm not broadcasting to anyone. Clover slipped the 4-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Then. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished. Dude, she's trusting you after you made her choke. Nice. That's usually how it goes. Wait, no. Other way around.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Ah, through the fucking morphic resonance fields. Spooky action at a distance, quantum entanglement.
Fields that you can't see?
Fuck. He'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded.
Think about this.
She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
Huh?
All Junpei could think was she's finally completely lost it. You have no idea, Junpei.
Isn't this like Locke's socks?
Do you mean the ship of Theseus?
Or the ship of Theseus?
Okay, that's a little bit more commonly known than Locke's socks. The ship... I gotta let this game continue, because there's been so many fucking times that I will say the next line before it's said. Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
Clover, why do you look different?
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
I would just throw it away, but for the sake of the discussion, I'm gonna say patch it up.
I guess I'd patch it up. Get some cloth and close up the hole.
What the fuck? My ring light just stopped. What on?
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
Oh, okay, so I have another charger that is a magnetic charger for things that was attached to a key ring attached to the control portion of my ring light, and I guess that being there interfered with the signal or whatever of the ring light enough to make it die if I jostled it too much, so I just moved the magnetic charger.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches until eventually the original cloth of the sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point, Can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Well, that's tough.
Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the locked socks thing?
Yeah, the ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with? And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else? Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus?
Everyone who played this and then later watched WandaVision was like, what? I have never seen WandaVision. But I imagine it has something to do with Wanda recreating Vision. The AI of Theseus, etc. Also, I don't know if you're still, your audio is still muted. Okay. I think this ship is ship of Theseus. It is actually like in a warehouse or something. Renata. Anyway, let's get back to this.
The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
There's an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John, or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again.
A
A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like locked socks in the ship of Theseus. Part of the body that holds a person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any number of internal organs. And here, they had both.
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those, and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Is that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born.
Yeah, within 7 years, none of the cells that you had are the same.
Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate.
I didn't eat a whole cow. Why does everyone keep saying that? Gosh, like middle school all over again.
If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right?
True.
That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
Oh, again with that shit. The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just...
Just...
playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed toward the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused
Playing
expression.
with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past him and traced Clover's path out of the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter
All right,
key.
I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
Okay. We can skip this. Okay. So, we now have had the discussion about the ship Theseus. So, the coffin, yeah, this is the kitchen. So, Ice 9, Alice, ship of Theseus. If the true ending is not "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion, I will do a Skeletor. Should I do a... No, I'm not gonna do a Skeletor karaoke of that fucking shit. Okay, so Pocket Watch. A voice he hadn't expected startled Junpei from his examination of the pocket watch.
Oh, pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
He spun around to find Ace standing in the doorway. Junpei shrugged and handed
Hey,
him the pocket
man.
watch.
What are you doing over in this room?
Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem?
Well, not a
Not a
problem,
problem,
but... That's a lie. I wanted to get rid of Ace. I sent him to the wheelhouse at the beginning for a reason. I wanted to talk to Clover alone. There's something I want to ask her, and I don't want anyone to overhear us. I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around. I'm a little desperate to send him back. Quick. He has to leave.
Ace opened his mouth, then took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face.
Oh, I see. Of course.
He looked Junpei over, then glanced at Clover.
I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck.
Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
She was clearly suspicious and with
Why
good
are
reason.
you looking at me like that?
Junpei's eyes widened and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence.
No, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
Clover bit her lip. She stared down at the floor for several long moments. When she spoke, it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that?
Ace knows that you're horny. Of course he does. Can't fuck a ghost. So I gotta chase after Clover instead. Because June is probably a ghost. I don't know why it is that I think June is a ghost, but June, I think, I don't know, I just think she died in the last Nonary game.
can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it. They're gonna pay for it. I promise. So...
Shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked up at Junpei, her eyes fierce and
Junpei.
angry.
Who do you think did it?
Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out. Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Well, technically, it's possible.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms in thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2, which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3. I don't like that the actual answer isn't here. It would be Santa and 7, but I wish that I could say Ace and 9, because that's what actually happened, but I don't know that. And I guess that means that I just don't even consider it.
Would it be Santa and 7?
2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 12, plus 1 plus 2
The
equals 3.
digital root for Snake, Santa, and 7 is 3. Wait, hold on. Are Santa and 7 the killers?
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei and he looked back at her. There was no point in hiding it.
I thought about it.
He told her his conclusions.
That's what I thought.
He looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and 7. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
Hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities.
Well, what other possibilities?
He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover
Are you
spoke.
saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely.
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple addition problems. Eventually she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. So that one doesn't work because of June, unless they coerce June. That one doesn't work because it would be Clover. That one doesn't work because it would be Clover. That one doesn't work because it would be June, and Junpei, and Lotus. That one maybe. That one has Clover. That one has and June, and then that one has June as well. Then that one also has Clover. So the only one that's maybe likely is 1378. But again, we know what it actually is. I'm not reading through all of these. You guys can see them.
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Junpei,
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Really?
Yeah.
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
Of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E.
136 and 1378.
Wait, it can't be A.
Why?
Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
Are you sure?
I'd bet my life on it.
Okay then. I can cross off A too, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if we...
E.
Do you know what this means?
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Do you think that's likely?
Hmm.
If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and Seven are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them. But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
Her voice was calm, but Junpei had only to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his heart tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
Then that means there's a good chance it was Santa and Seven.
that's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
There was a moment of
Their
silence.
motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. Sorry. He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke.
Have I interrupted something?
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
Oh, this motherfucker's gonna stab me. He turned on his heel and walked back toward the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace.
What did you want to talk about?
Ace looked at Junpei and smiled, perhaps more of a smirk than a smile.
There was something I wanted to check.
Yeah? What's that?
Oh, it's the papers.
If you'll excuse me.
With no warning, Ace slipped his hand in the pocket of Junpei's vest.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm just checking.
No, stop!
He reached for Ace's arm, but it was already too late. In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his
Just
pocket.
as I thought. What exactly are these pieces of paper hiding in your pocket? You switched them, didn't you, when we voted? Well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief.
Then, why did you...
Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it.
Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, then turned on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach being tense.
Damn.
Ace was jelly. Gross. He's old enough. Oh. That's okay then. Wait. Junpei. How old is... Let me first... Wait. Before I Google that. Should I Google that? Or... I'm concerned about spoilers. Is that what we're doing, G-Men? I don't know. All I know is I took this path, I got the axe ending, and I was like, alright, well, I guess I need to go through again. Just trust when I say he's 10 years old. I don't think he's 10 years old, you silly goose. Oh, we get to learn about Alice. A red file lay in the drawer. Junpei reached down and picked it up.
Looks like there's something on the cover. ALLICE.
I have two endings left though. I've only gotten like axe. I've only gotten axe, knife, safe, sub. I'm missing one. Axe, knife, safe. Axe, knife, safe, sub. Is it 6 endings?
All ice. Alice. Does this mean...
Junpei couldn't hold back. He had to know what was in that file. Each page was covered with strange characters. They looked like tiny drawings of birds, snakes, insects, horned animals, wings, even kneeling humans. There were many pages in the file, and each was full of these strange symbols.
What the hell is this?
The hell is this? He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Ace looked over
They're
at him.
hieroglyphs, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt.
She really does enjoy making me paranoid. You should read our DMs, because like anytime I come to her with like, I wonder if this, she's like, maybe not, who knows, gotta play the game. And I'm like, can you give me fucking something here? Like, Jesus Christ, lady. Like, she's like my own personal zero. Also, yeah, I was like, I'm going to permanently modify. I'm going to create. Whoa, here, let me just look. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, no, that was... I swear to all fuck, if Junpei is 0, I'm permanently altering my body. I don't know what I mean by that. She said, get a tattoo that says Junpei does not equal 0.
Ancient Egypt?
That's right.
Can you read them?
Of course. I can't. What would make you think I could?
What the hell?
Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just 1 or 2 pages that were covered in the strange symbols. Every single page was covered in them.
The whole thing's like that.
Trying to read them was pointless. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file, and something fell out.
What's this?
A library keycard.
Oh, a key card.
Right, this is where you get the library keycard. So, Beyond the Forest of Knowledge would be this. There was a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbols for the Saturn and Mercury keycards. This one, however, had a dot in the center of the male symbol.
Uranus. That's the Uranus symbol.
Gross. Junpei looked over to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there were 3 words engraved in the card as well.
Something's written on the bottom. Bottom deck library. This must be the key to the library, then.
So it would seem.
Bottom deck library. Oh.
The Forest of Knowledge. Junpei remembered something he'd heard from Seven when they'd been in the chemical closet.
Seven said something like...
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic.
Could beneath the navel mean the bottom deck, and the Forest of Knowledge is the library? Then could Alice be in a room somewhere beyond the library?
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
Junpei blinked. Only then did he notice Ace looking at him, curiosity and concern written across his face in equal parts.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Is that so? What about?
Well, don't laugh, okay?
There's no reason for Junpei to hide his thoughts. He began to explain his theory to Ace. Then he stopped. It wouldn't make any sense if Ace didn't know who Alice was supposed to be. So he told Ace everything June had told him.
The Egyptian priestess and Ice 9. Interesting.
And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster? They called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice. And she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, this ship is where he hid Alice.
And you think that he hid her in a small room, beyond the library on the bottom deck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
Ace stared off into the distance, his hand slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hand stopped. He turned slowly to look at Junpei. His brows drew together.
Have you ever heard of the term CAS?
Close air support?
CAS?
It stands for Cells Alive System. It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter.
I prefer close air support.
Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals.
I gotta remember to go back. Not only for the Alice thing, but yeah.
Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane.
Yeah, but if you freeze it fast enough, it doesn't have time to expand.
CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields, and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form. It was originally developed for the preservation of food, as an alternative to the normal freezing process. Now, however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things.
What do you mean, other things?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Aw, damn. This is about to turn into Passengers starring Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Fucking hate that movie. I have never seen it, actually, is the truth. I cannot lie to you.
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation. Cryogenic freezing?
Yeah, that's what Walt Disney did with his head.
It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting.
Whoa, wait a minute there.
Ace looked at him and raised an eyebrow.
Are you saying that Alice was frozen using that cast thing?
But that wouldn't make her not melt.
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and casts were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously.
You think she could be alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course. I'm only talking about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature...
Okay, but she was pulled through the desert, where it is regularly over 96 degrees.
That's nuts. Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about?
You're quite right. It does sound unbelievable. But if she had, then we would have an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
What? We haven't gotten there yet.
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly, he was murdered. But if he was murdered, then by whom? It couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly, the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that. Who else then could have done so?
Junpei thought for a second.
Nobody. After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me and June. Then we returned to the large hospital room and found Ace, Seven, and Clover. While we'd gone into the shower room, Ace, Seven, and Clover had stayed behind. But it's impossible for those three to open door 1. But what about when June and I took the elevator to door 2? No, still won't work. We were only gone 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters and killed that guy in there and run back that fast.
It would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors.
Oh, okay, yeah,
The
Zoe
numbered
did kill
door
him.
would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters.
Then you're saying the killer was Alice?
It was Junpei's turn to raise an eyebrow. Ace drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully.
This is all only one possible theory.
A game theory. Thanks for watching.
All ice. Alice, is she really somewhere on the ship?
Junpei had only one clue. The key card in
Maybe
his
this
hand.
card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge. And the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now. I'll come back to this later.
He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket.
Huh.
Junpei snorted with grim humor for the second time since he'd come into the room. 4 screens along the bottom had a single letter each, spelling out
Z-E-R-O, huh? It's like he's making fun of us. What do you think?
He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. Clover nodded.
Nothing.
It seemed that she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she was surely under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she'd responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured towards the corpse.
What about him? Do you think that's really Zero?
Clover shook her head
There's
weakly.
no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? Zero is one of us.
Yeah, right. Well, even if he wasn't one of us, there's no way that man could be Zero.
Huh?
Don't you get it? The letters that spell Zero on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on.
What are you getting
And of
at?
course, the bracelet with a 0 on it.
It's too obvious?
It's too obvious.
Okay.
Look, this is Zero right here. This dead body is Zero. Isn't that kind of fishy?
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work. Which makes me wonder.
Makes you wonder what, Junpei?
I think this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us. Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was Zero, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a Zero bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!" Anyone with a brain would
did
be
it.
able to see that this guy is supposed to look like everything Zero is supposed to be. Just like we did. The killer must have known we wouldn't think he was Zero and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us.
No.
Too bad, suckers. This isn't Zero.
No, I don't think that's it. I think he was doing it to go Ace and killing him.
me then? See if you can catch me.
What is this voice, Junpei?
It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
Where's the real me then? See if you can catch
That's
me.
really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that? If I knew anything, I would have told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
Junpei sat back on his haunches and
We should
thought.
check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Huh?
We gotta flip him
Where's
over.
Ace?
How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Is he in the other room? Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Junpei had no choice but to move the
Here
body
we
on his
go.
own. He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually, Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. Just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the
bracelet with the 0 on the face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. More Hartley, which is 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or the backside of the mirror's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the
This
bracelet.
man, he's dead, isn't he?
We knew. What do you mean?
No, it's just, I guess I didn't really think about it until right now. If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. Well, he looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know?
You know, like your brother? You know your brother that died? Remember your brother's mangled body that you saw? Remember that? Remember? You're an asshole, Junpei.
I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive.
Oh, did you unmute?
I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kinda has it better, you know? Dying from a bomb going off inside of you, I mean, that's just... Some of Snake's bones went right through his skin.
Yeah, remember that brother you had that died? That body that you saw? That family member that you've known for so long that died during this death game? Do you remember that, Clover? Hey, Clover, do you remember when your brother... I'm sorry, it's just... Bro, can you not?
I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or something. There was a broken bone just sticking out of his left arm.
Oh, okay.
And,
Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? He clapped his hands over his mouth. But it was already too late. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously.
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
Man, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have
The
said
left
that.
arm.
I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean...
Your sarcasm on this dialogue is top. Thank you so much, Seaman. I appreciate that. All I have is sarcasm.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
Arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
There's no way I was gonna see the details.
Clover took a quick, deep
Are you
breath.
sure it was his left arm?
Junpei thought back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Why is this the way that this voice actor says hell bothers me so much? What the hell? It really upsets me, and I don't know why.
Just shut up and answer me.
She shoved her face closer to his. She could see the fire in her eyes. Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
Suddenly, she was crying. Junpei wasn't sure what to do.
You.
It was close to the last thing he had expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. So he simply stood there, confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy.
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his. It isn't my brother.
Huh?
It's not Snake.
I feel bad for if anyone is watching the VOD of this and is just listening, because they're not going to hear that joke at all or understand like half the context for it. But if you're watching the VOD, you should really pop in and check the check the text chat, because I'm having a conversation with Veli because she's muted because she's at work, and I'm making other jokes there.
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
She stopped herself.
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain, then she was likely right. That meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
He's still alive. I'm so happy.
Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she'd pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her
I'm
tight.
so glad.
Huh?
Junpei, you were right.
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was a laminated bookmark with a 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody. I was angry and miserable. But because I had this 4-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting somewhere else in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
Then suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
Huh? He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. Oh, we got some stereo audio going on. I don't know if you can hear that. 6 steps to the left, 6 steps to the right, another 6 to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Her eyes were serious, but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I say something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
What?
Subjects?
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me.
Clover was also in the experiment? I thought it was just Snake.
But he's blind, and I was part of the Nevada test group.
The what?
So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay, time out.
So Santa doesn't know. Santa doesn't know that fucking Ace is the CEO of Cradle because Ace told him. He knows because he was fucking there? Are you kidding me, bro? Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Calm down for a second. Okay, start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm never gonna be able to figure it out.
But, buddy, that's what I've been saying the whole fucking game.
Okay.
Clover nodded.
All right, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
Morphogenetic fields?
Yes. He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
I think Lotus mentioned something like that.
Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh?
What if Lotus is Alice?
Well, that's not really it, but I suppose it's similar.
So they were testing telepathy on this ship?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What?
The Nonary game. 9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
Wait, okay, so there is a boat and then not a boat that looks like a boat? Maybe? Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
I'm sorry, but I don't get it. What do the Nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other? Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back sudden tears. What had happened to her in Nevada?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head? That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy. When you add danger to that equation, then it gets easier to transmit that information over telepathy.
So you're saying the Nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And someone did actually die. A girl.
Huh.
Junpei felt the sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed, and for a moment he felt very, very empty and alone.
She was on the boat with my brother. I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name.
Don't you fucking tell me it is Akane Kurashika.
Her name was...
The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
Ace.
You two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
Ace glanced down at the floor. At the corpse, covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something?
Why is it every time she's... Bro's listening at the door. He is sitting, he's got a cup up against the door. He's like, what are those little shits talking about? I gotta make sure they don't tell me about the fucking notary game. If he finds out, he won't fuck the ghost. Wait, he's gotta be listening, and there's no way this is a coincidence.
I'm having a little trouble, and I could really use your assistance.
Also, this motherfucker is gonna stab me.
Come on. It'll only take a moment.
With that, he turned and walked back towards the communications office. Clover waited until he was out of sight, then spoke in a small, quiet voice.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Huh? Hey, wait!
Clover ignored him. Listen, Murder Daddy, kind of a vibe. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei? What are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stomped off towards the communications office. Bro is gonna stab me. I do not trust you. Identify yourself. Hold on, where's my... Actually, is it even out? I think so. Oh no, it isn't. Identify yourself. Okay, sorry. ... Okay, so we've unlocked this novel. I'm assuming this key has something to do with what we learn about the notary game here, like the previous notary game, that is. They stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. Hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backward L.
Alright, let's go.
Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the hallway. He ran and ran and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. He made straight for it.
A piece.
He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. Junpei skidded to a halt. He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off the floor. A map of
the ship's
A-Deck.
Interior for A-Deck.
What's wrong?
Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei.
I found a map for this floor.
Showed Ace what he'd snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and
see.
nodded. With that, he began running again, past
Well, that
Junpei.
was anticlimactic. I should keep this, though.
Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace, but something stopped him.
Where's Clover?
He turned around. Clover was nowhere to
Damn
be
it.
seen.
What the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he stomped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the
Clover!
captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob.
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket, as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket.
Oh, this? A note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes. It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Clover, what are you two doing? Hurry up!
I love how far away they made
He's
him
getting
sound.
mad.
Clover
I'll
shrugged.
show it to you later, all right? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note. A note. Junpei was curious, but there was something else that had bothered
From the
him.
look of that pocket, it doesn't particularly look like just a note. Jeez, what are you thinking? For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set
Big
of stairs.
So this is where it ends up, just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His "I see" after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
He put his hands on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
And not just Ace, Santa, June, 7, and Lotus as
Really?
well.
Let's join them.
Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy, Clover.
June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
Woo, door 9!
What?
Come on! Just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Okay.
7 turned and jogged down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each one of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
What do you mean, what? I already did this once before. Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably
reached the
was.
end.
He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind.
So wait, how did they find door 9? And have it be one door 9?
2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as
Yeah.
she could. Junpei followed. Oh, so this time Clover isn't gonna do like a... 2. As a group, they piled down onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E-Deck. It looked familiar. There's a metal grate between the 2 elevators. 7 grabbed a hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the bow and eventually to the number 6 that you 2 found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it, like usual, but this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we could unlock it. Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, toward the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I would prefer not to type purely because it means I can focus on the game and talk and not have to go, wait, let me read this out while I'm typing it down. Because I've been trying to keep the audio portion of the stream parody with what I'm saying to you.
So, in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked
So,
around.
Where's the number 9 door?
Over here. Follow me.
7 began walking down the hallway that led towards the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him.
By the way,
They had been walking for a while, June in silent step with Junpei when she
you know,
spoke.
it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
What?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus, what's their digital route?
Nine. Oh, okay, so they went through and found the other 9 door. The Santa guy's a pretty outstanding chap. 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them. He said, we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
He is certainly a guy, Veli.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you, I mean.
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered
Oh,
that.
don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's
I don't
concern.
mean that 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when 7
We're
suddenly
here.
stopped. In front of them
So-
stood a door.
Is this...
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him
There's
nod.
no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only
All right,
choice.
let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. That 9 looks so goofy. I don't like when people write 9s like that. It looks wrong. It appeared they'd been telling the truth.
No way.
First thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number, 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it.
The 9 door.
It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read
No
vacant.
doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of
Junpei,
complete silence.
Look behind you.
He turned
Behind?
around.
What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw.
Why? A door and a 9. There's another one? Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
Oh my god! This is the first time I've ever seen this! Holy shnikes. His words came slowly and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. 9. Do we have... Yeah, okay, we have Edic. This is the room we're in right now. That's the door. And then that's the other door. I mean, they connect, and then there's this burned out portion. I'm assuming this is where the incinerator is. Is the library also there? I mean, it would have to be. There's no way to get over to this. So the library is probably in this area somewhere. There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near
There's
the door.
a red there too. That means...
No. Tell me that it's not in the fucking sequel. I will lose my fucking mind. Also, let me just... Yeah, so everyone can go. If we get Snake out of the coffin.
And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Lotus was skeptical.
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right...
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. He held
You've
out
got
her
a
hand.
notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
Yeah, here.
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers.
You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit.
Yeah, man, she's really good at math.
There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind. Right?
yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
The room went very quiet. Oh, okay, we're still in this. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank.
Come to think of it,
Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around
what
him.
is this room?
You all could have escaped. If only you hadn't murdered everyone in the beginning of the game, you all could have escaped. Yep. The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind?
Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the end of the carpet,
Is that an altar?
it was a recessed space set into the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin.
A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be.
But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer. But
Do you think there's a mummy in that coffin? No. I think Snake is in that coffin.
I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
What are you talking about?
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only
What?
one.
You guys didn't figure it out yet?
Wh-
Fine, fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong. She just... screw it. Let me just write it out.
Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind.
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot?
Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. What a stand-up chap.
No, I am completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
He'll be dead, it won't matter. The rest of them begin to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked
Well,
at
there
Seven.
you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's gotta be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Yes, I have no heart, Veli. Where my heart is, there is a simple prime cube. Patent pending. Something in his voice made Junpei
Are
uncomfortable.
you agreeing? You want to leave him here?
Santa shook his
Nah,
head.
I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you...
Yeah, what is he talking about?
What? You don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more.
What?
3 people, including 7. I'll be leaving behind 3 people.
What?
That's my proposal. No, those are my orders.
What do you mean, orders?
What?
What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Santa was so fast Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance, his feet moving like lightning. He spun and... Ah, now he took the fucking gun, you little motherfucker! And why do you want what? I'm confused.
See? I told you.
Ace never went through this door, which means someone else got it. Oh. His lips curled in a cruel, mocking smile.
What?
So what door is it that you go through? 6. Okay, so June would know that he had the gun, though. Well, actually, no, she probably wouldn't have known. A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine, since we didn't know that Ace had the gun until he pulled it out. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identifies as a revolver, roughly against her temple.
What the hell is that?
Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
Guns from the other room.
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken the gun.
Well, it's too late now, fat ass.
Damn it!
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded and began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly, and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations! I've chosen you to come with me.
Oh. Okay. I see what's going on here. This gun's probably got the bullets of Alice in it. I swear to God, if that's actually what's going on, and that's why fucking Snake didn't die when he got shot by him, I'm gonna scream.
Put your hands in the red.
3 + 6 + 1 + 8 = 18. That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2
Hey,
more.
you deaf? I gave you an order.
Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen, like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right. Fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched, and the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
You really shot it? But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends.
What?
You knew about the leaf words and the 4-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched almost
What
imperceptibly.
the hell is that shit? I've got no idea.
You're lying.
Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch! You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth, his face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small. He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
All right, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize I was gonna do that. I guess I can't do any, I can't do any of my, emotions, because apparently the 6 and 7 buttons do things.
Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing's starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
You did just fire a gun in an enclosed space. A revolver, no less. Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate. June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There's only one thing for Junpei to do. He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Go.
Huh?
No way.
Jumpy, what are you saying? If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know, but you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven?
Right. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of.
No, you can't! Ace, Lotus, don't come over! Don't worry about me, please!
June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders.
Please.
And pushed them towards the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step. And another. They turned around and Junpei nodded.
All right.
Fine.
Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly toward the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
All right. Now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What? You think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The red doesn't need a person, you know? All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
I kind of like sweary Santa. Like, he was already kind of edgy, but I like this a lot. He shoved the revolver harder against June's head, and she winced.
Fine.
He sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The 4th asterisk blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. Soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Damn it.
Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum roll to welcome the chosen few.
Go!
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well. 6, 7, 8.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. A gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and 7 had been left behind. So I assume this is just where it would end if you didn't know the code. Clover looked down at her hand and traced it with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. 7 shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the two 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. The red engaged. He moved to the smaller door. The red vacant. I would know the code because I learned it here, and she picked up the paper here. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. 5 plus 4 plus 7 equals 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. There was no possible way for them to open a door with a 9 on it. Junpei touched the surface of the door.
June.
He thought about June, about Akane Kurashiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she had escaped this horrible boat, that was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
7 opened his mouth to respond when... Yeah. A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet!
Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. The 3 of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming
Where's it coming from?
I wonder...
Could it be?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right!
Let's open it.
But how?
What are those muscles for show?
You're telling me to force it open?
Just shut up and try!
Junpei and 7 grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find and pulled with all their strength.
Damn it!
It won't even budge.
There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes almost immediately drawn to it.
Not another one?
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
No shit!
I think so.
The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out. And now.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
It couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to
Isn't
be.
there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examine the pews, and 7 investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
There's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in that room.
What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
The world blinked. Suddenly, there was a voice inside of Junpei's head. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
Wait, what the hell was that? That voice?
Junpei was utterly and completely baffled.
Huh? What?
What's up?
7 and Clover ran over to him, but Junpei didn't know what to tell them. He told them he'd heard a voice, they'd laugh, or worse, think he was going insane. So all he said was...
Nothing.
So... Oh, what the fuck? Oh, good God. Good, great, gurgly, murgly, wurgly. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I figured this would unlock this. So... Obviously, without the parallel universe knowledge about the note, you just don't think to ask her about it. But because you have the parallel universe knowledge of exactly what the note said, and I don't know how that relates to anything. Maybe it's explained in this one. Maybe we should go back and do this one real quick, guys. That, you know, a voice from beyond. Maybe it's June. Maybe it's June. Who knows, right? Who fucking knows? It's future ghosts, man. Maybe they'll explain it in the third game. I fucking hope they don't. I hope it never gets explained. I hope that I live the rest of my life going Veli of the Nara. Sorry, Valinara. However it's pronounced, I can never remember. Why on earth would you curse me to walk the earth with the half-complete knowledge of what the fuck just happened here? Why would you do this to me? I'm not gonna finish this tonight. I can't. How much fucking shit is that? Is that are there escape sections? Is it just novels? This took 3 hours. 3 hours! Look at Clover's face. She's shocked. It's a perfect response to your outburst. I hope it is. I hope you look concerned. I hope you're like, oh god, what have I done? I've corrupted an innocent soul. You want an estimated time? Please, G-Man. I would love an estimated time. Because I have like 30 minutes before I have to go to bed for work tomorrow. Six to 7 hours? Good fucking god! It's also taking into account that you'll solve any puzzles you might find in a timely manner. Wink. Don't wink at me. What the fuck? Okay. So we will finish this one and get into this, and then that's where we're gonna stop. Because next week it's gonna be a little bit different, or I guess it is technically this week, but on Saturday I have an event that I have to go to, so I'm off on Saturday. So what I'm gonna do is after work on Friday, I'm going to stream my single-player Saturday game. But because I don't have work the next day for this event, I will probably stream for longer. He cleared his throat a little too loud and looked pointedly down at his bracelet. There were a pair of small buttons protruding from either side of it. Junpei, press the buttons. Oh. Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone. Right had left, right had left, right had left. Right, left, right, left, right, left. That was it. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 8 numbers blinked on and then off on the bracelet display. Junpei checked one last time. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
What is the significance of this number?
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, what the hell were those numbers?
Oh my gosh, are those?
Junpei didn't answer. He simply walked straight to the coffin. He knelt down in front of the keypad, running over the numbers in his head so that he wouldn't forget.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Single Player Friday doesn't have the same ring to it. I can wait until midnight and then it'll be Saturday. Or I could stream earlier in the day. Cause I don't know when we're supposed to meet up for this event. Uh, 4 or 5 p.m. Okay, so probably I won't be able to stream earlier in the day because I usually, on my days off, I usually wake up around 2 p.m. I mean, I could wake up the same time I would normally wake up for work. That would be 11 o'clock. I'd start stream at like noon, and then I'd have 3 hours. 3 to 4 hours, depending on when it starts. But I think it'd just be better if I streamed on Friday, and then if I remind you what? To tell you the significance of the number. 14383421. Because I want to say that it's somehow related to the Titanic, but it's not, right? I don't think it's or base 10. Because that would be, well, 38 isn't a number, or 38 wouldn't be a letter unless you Google it. Don't. It isn't explained, but it's a spoiler if I tell you no. There's no way you'll figure it out right now unless you Google it. Don't Google it. Okay, I will not Google it. I looked up, the only thing I Googled is when did the Titanic sink?
14383421.
With trembling fingers, he punched them in. That was all of them. He punched the E button. There was a moment of complete silence. Then there was the sound of the coffin lid unlatching. Someone sat up out of it.
No way! What? Why are you...
Oh? Is that you, Clover? I apologize for worrying you.
Snake!
You? Why?
Junpei? And Seven? Is that you? Is everyone else there as well?
Just like Rip Van Winkle. Still, it was very much like Snake to simply cut to the heart of the matter and ask.
Jeez.
Junpei and Seven shared a wry smile. Clover's eyes were filled with tears.
You're back!
With a cry of joy, she leapt into Snake's arms.
Gently now. My body's still a little weak.
Oh, you're back!
Clover looked like nothing so much as a lost child who had finally found her home. She cried and cried and cried. Her eyes were red and her nose was running. She hiccuped and gasped as if she were about to begin hyperventilating.
You're back! You're really here!
Her voice was happy but almost desperate, as if she feared he would disappear again if she stopped talking to him. Tear after tremendous tear rolled its way down her face. Her small arms strained as she clutched Snake's body as tightly as she could. Perhaps she had to convince herself he was real. Perhaps she was worried he would be gone the moment she let go. Perhaps she simply didn't know what else to do.
You're back!
You know, if they're siblings, like, I guess you could have a kid, like, one right after another, and they'd both be 9. But...
Come now, what's gotten into you? You're acting as though I've returned from the grave.
Not as though you did. I really thought you were dead.
Huh?
You jerk! Idiot! Idiot! Idiot!
How... Clover broke into sobs so great she could no longer talk. It was a touching reunion between brother and sister. Even though Junpei knew they had little time and every minute they waited was a minute they wasted, it felt cruel to pull them apart. Junpei and Seven sat down on one of the pews, waiting for Clover to calm down before explaining to Snake what transpired. Sorry, give me just a second. Okay.
I see. I believe I understand things rather well now. Thank you.
Okay, I haven't gotten out of that box yet.
In the shower room, there is a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct?
What is this symbol again? This is a symbol of a completely different thing, right? Because it was the Mercury? Yeah, okay, Mercury is the one that looks like Venus but has the horns, so to speak. He had quickly and neatly summarized the events of the several hours.
Yeah.
Junpei
You
nodded.
also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here, in this room. Do I have it straight?
Well, the dead body in the captain's quarters is a surprise.
Sorry, there wasn't a good time to tell you.
Don't worry about it.
Well then, I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed, but it's still something of a mystery who did all this, and why. The corpse in the shower room that looked like me, and the corpse in the captain's quarters. Why were they killed in the way they were?
You don't know?
No. Why would I?
The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X. Anyway, this Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes, but you're wearing some kind of weird robes. That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was.
I apologize, but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only just now woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time.
When were you knocked out?
When we split up to look for the red.
Where did they get you? Do you remember?
It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck.
I mean, it could have been anywhere.
What happened?
The same thing that happened to every one of us when we were abducted. A canister releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room. I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent.
Then that means it was...
Zero.
Looks that way, huh?
There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin.
Junpei crossed his arms in thought.
Why? Why did Zero make Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How would that benefit Zero? I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
This is a really deep dive. I wouldn't really worry about what Snake is wearing. It isn't really addressed until like way later. And even then, it isn't a plot point or anything. Just a cute detail that rabid fans would be rewarded for remembering. I mean, it looks like Mercury in the sun, and then I don't know what's up here. But okay.
And I have no idea how I got the passcode for the coffin either. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Where did those words come from? Why did I feel compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them?
Devin had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He'd had no answer for him then, and he
All
still
I know
didn't.
is my fingers moved on their own. It was like I did it subconsciously.
Perhaps automatically.
I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and more mysteries. He could barely think.
Also, Snake and Clover had been subjects in a similar experiment 9 years ago.
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was...
There had been another experiment conducted on this same ship 9 years ago, and and a girl had died during it. Morphogenetic field theory. The 2 murders. Switching clothes. The nonary game.
Whatever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself. I would really like this to just get like interrupted by someone, and then have him do the fucking Bardock thing, where he's like, "I was almost there. Fuck." And those super old blasters, and it's Planet Vegeta. And Ace walks in and says, "Junpei, I need your assistance, please." Am I interrupting something? I'm going to come out and say it, Junpei. I want your body. The maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into it almost as soon as he grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together, and the point connecting the dots.
Zero. He's the ringleader. The person who trapped 9 of us on this sinking ship.
Are you just realizing that, Junpei?
Zero should know everything. If we can uncover Zero's identity, all of our questions will be answered.
I want this gas mask, I'm not gonna lie. Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. If he could only test it, or perhaps...
At any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry.
Hey, how are we gonna get out of here?
Your digital route is 9.
Isn't that obvious? Through the other number 9 door.
5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 2 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
Oh yeah, you're right. With Snake, we can open the door.
Don't tell me you hadn't figured that out.
As they sniped back and forth, Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2
Come
on
on,
it.
you gotta tell me these things.
I, assumed you'd figured it out.
I did!
Forget it. Let's just get going.
7 stomped off towards the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red. An asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. Soon there were 4 asterisks on the screen. I wish I could go back and see Snake's arm when it's on the panel, because I'm just curious what it looks like. 7 glanced at them, then laid his hand on the lever of the red.
All right. You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Junpei paused for a moment.
Not yet.
Huh?
Before we go in, I'd like to check something.
You want to check something?
Yeah, but before I do, 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just the 4 of us.
What do you mean? We don't need...
Just do it, alright? But if the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please, this is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here.
Junpei looked directly into 7's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment, then nodded. 7 pulled down on the lever and door 9 creaked open. Then they waited. 6, 7, 8. Dude, did you just lock eyes with 7? I'm trying to fuck everyone on this ship, Veli. You heard of the Mile High Club? I'm Sea Level Club, alright? And you know how you get to Sea Level Club? Is you spread your semen. I hate myself for everything about what I just said, and I want to die. Also, never has a truer statement been said. You should start with 9. No resistance there. Ah! That's necrophilia, Veli. I left that a long time ago. Okay, I have to explain that, otherwise that's gonna sound really bad. I was in a group at one point, and like in a online gaming group, and we all had usernames based off of like different mental disorders. So one person was psychopath, one person was pyro, and I was necro. I mainly thought necro sounded cool, and then like the mental disorder thing kind of came in later because I was like, haha, funny. And then I realized that meant that I was a necrophiliac. So yeah. You know what? Here, let me pull up my super cringe profile picture that I made. My graphic design is my passion profile picture. Where are my Photoshops folder? Photoshop EX. No. There it is. Is it your face with a thumbs up sign? No. It's a character from a Korean MMO named Raven in a mausoleum with NecroEX written across the top. Is it your face with a thumbs up sign and a skeleton on the ground in the background? No, it's this. This was the first version. It looks worse, but only because I figured out how to use slightly better compositing things. But I was also Terra? No, Elsword. Yeah, this was made in 2014, July 21st, 2014. That was over 10 years ago, actually. So I would have been 15 years old at the time.
All right. That means the 4 of us can go into door 9.
So? We knew that already. It's obvious.
Obvious? Yeah. You're right. It is. Now, what happens if we add Zero's bracelet?
What?
Zero's bracelet?
Why don't you take it out, Clover?
For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and stuck her tongue out at Junpei.
So you did know I had it.
Why are you playing coy about
I
it?
picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime.
She reached into one of the pockets of her voluminous jacket and produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to Seven.
This was on the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little easier to talk about, I'm gonna call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarters, Cap.
I keep calling him Captain Zilch. So how I have it is fake Snake that died in the shower room. That's Cobra. And then the guy that we found in the captain's quarters is Captain Zilch. Which is to say that he has a 0 bracelet, so he's Zilch, but he's not 0.
Then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and his bracelet.
5 plus 4 plus 0 equals 9.
The big question is, if Cap is the mastermind of this game, would he really put one of these bracelets on? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me your hand.
Okay.
Now the captain's bracelet. And pull the lever.
However, the door didn't open. The Reds display read error.
I knew it. Now, what does this tell us?
Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work?
No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a 3rd asterisk when I scanned Cap's bracelet? Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register.
Seven waved his bracelet in front of the scanner panel. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red.
Huh. Looks like you're right.
See? So what does that mean? There's only one possibility.
That bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying?
Imagine if you scanned the bracelet and like 5 asterisks showed up. The RFID is like 0 didn't have enough money to go with like really good NFC readers, so it keeps dropping and immediately scanning again as you go through. So you end up with like 17 number 5s. It's just like fuck. Sorry, hold on. Just like slow. Just come in like slowly, and then once it goes, you gotta pull back really quickly. Am I out of this circle? I'm still not out of this square.
That's right.
I assume this room is that square.
Then what number is it?
Let's find out.
Junpei, scan the bracelets with this combination. Seven, Junpei, and Cap, I believe, would be. Yeah.
Let's try 7, me, and Cap.
7 plus Junpei, 7 plus 5 equals 12, 1 plus 2
If
equals
this
3.
combination opens the door, then Cap's bracelet is number 6.
Hey, it opened! The door opened!
What? Why? What does that mean?
Both Seven and Clover seemed rather shaken. As they turned to look at Junpei for answers, the door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised
Isn't
an
it
eyebrow.
obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6.
7 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
But doesn't it say 0?
This isn't a 0. The symbol on here isn't a number 0. It's a letter O.
It has the digital root of 6 in base 10? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 24. Zero is the 15th letter in the alphabet. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Oh. Okay, no. It's not in there anyway. Well, okay. The game has been doing base 10 this whole time, and by all means, the way the base 10 susses out, it's the same. The digital root of the number in the alphabet versus the base 10 version is the same.
Oh.
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it. I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean there are 2 people with 6s?
Before Junpei could answer, Steak spoke up.
There is most likely only one person with a 6.
But I don't get it. What about June?
Well, this is only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with.
What?
Her bracelet was flipped. In other words, June's real number is
9?
9.
What?
That seems the most likely.
How does that seem the most likely? What do you mean? What? What? What the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't make it. That would mean that there were 2 9s, because there was a 9th man. What are you talking about? You blind fuck? What is this? Because here's the thing, right? We've all had our fun, right? But these are the 4 and 5 doors. So if we went through the 4 door, no, I'm not gonna let him finish. I'm gonna do the math first. It was Santa, me, Lotus. No. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't. The math isn't mathing. You're fucking crazy, blind man.
Then all this numbered door stuff was just a load of crap?
Why would you say that?
Because if June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up.
Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write
Here,
furiously
look.
in it. Junpei leaned over to look
List
at
of
it.
all the numbered doors June's gone through.
I'll let you know what I'm writing, okay, Snake?
Also, there's an ad that's about to start in 40 seconds, so I'm going to instead run a 30-second ad real quick. And then we'll go from there. Okay, I think the ad is over now. So let's get back to it.
And that's everything. I wrote down which door she went into and with whom. And I wrote what all the numbers were. So if you switch 9 in wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work. If the digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4. If the digital root is 2, then you can't open door 8.
Clover, do you notice anything interesting on that list?
That in everything she went through with 3 and 8 as well.
What do you mean?
You're talking about 3, right?
3?
Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Santa's 0?
Yes, that's right.
What about it?
That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first time you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind. Now, doesn't that beg the question why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 and Lotus. Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3. Santa's real number, 7? Would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations?
Yeah, sure.
7 took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations.
This is what you were getting at, right, Snake?
He read out the changes he'd made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled.
Thank you. That is exactly right, 7. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0.
No way. Santa is 0?
And June was 9, not 6. Conversely, Santa was 0, not 3.
And I was 2.
Plus 3 and minus 3, they cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order.
Santa was still playing by the rules of the nonary game this whole time.
Precisely.
So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing?
I'm not sure if he acted alone or not, but I think it is safe to conclude that he is 0, if my hypothesis is correct.
Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei. Junpei remained silent and thought.
Snake's hypothesis. Something doesn't seem right. June's bracelet being flipped. Even if that were possible, that would mean there are 2 number 9 bracelets.
Yeah.
And if that's the case,
then there's nothing to stop there being 2 number 6s.
All right, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door.
Door 9 opened. They leapt through.
Oh, it's right there.
The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly, they scanned their bracelets. Why is it scrolling so slowly? And the detonator stopped.
Oh.
After pausing for a few moments to catch their collective breath, Junpei's companions headed down the long hallway in front of them.
All right, let's keep going.
Oh damn, we're still on this. Jesus Christ. At the end was a set of stairs leading down into the
I think
ship.
these stairs go to the bottom deck.
They leaned out and looked
Let's
over the
try.
side.
Let's head down.
After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found
Hey,
another
it's a-
door. Of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. What is that one? Oh, okay, I see. I have all the symbols up because I was looking at the Mercury symbol and trying to figure out what was on Snake's robes. Looked like the sort of harpoon one would use to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Snake traced the shape of it with his finger.
This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere.
Neptune key. I only have the Uranus key card.
Clearly, it wasn't going to
It's a
open this
different
door.
planet. Plus, it's the wrong kind of key.
Let's turn around and go back for now.
Yeah.
After examining the door for a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they'd come.
Hey, another door.
With a little more searching, they found a metal door.
And a card reader this time.
Symbol was engraved into the card
It's the
reader.
Uranus symbol.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books.
Wow!
God damn, we're still on this shit?
It's totally full of books!
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
Looked remarkably like a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books, more the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search, for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Was I right? Was the whole automatic writing thing an explanation for the flowchart? Seek a way out. Alright, cool. We are gonna save here and find someone to raid. Who's in the category? Oh, there's actually a couple of people in the someone is in the same spot as me. We're raiding them for sure. Oh, I can't raid them. Okay, that's cool. Well, I guess I'm not raiding them. I'm gonna raid this person who is another VTuber, that is in the casino right now. Let me make sure. Okay, they're not follow only for their chat. Okay. Thank you guys for stopping by. we will be back on Friday and maybe Saturday to hopefully finish the game. We'll also be back on Tuesday. Not for this game though. It's gonna be more Final Fantasy XIV MSQ with Alistair. I'm gonna hit the raid button now. Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye.